And we're back here at the stock recap show. It is for January 2023, and I'm super excited to get into it today. And we're going to get in the high flyers in a second, but first, super important disclaimer, okay? Please trade at your own risk because this is intended for educational purposes only. And 9 out of 10 traders lose money. 1 out of 3 loses 90% or more, and there's no guarantees you're going to make money with this strategy or any other strategy for that matter, okay? These results are not typical. Now let's get into the notable movers. We got a high fly ball, and it is out of here. VVOS is the big mover of the day, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up these charts, okay? So VVOS, if we look at the daily chart, definitely on the breakout on the daily chart, not a great overall trend, but it was significant data about a flagship oral appliance for treatment of obstructive sleep apnea. So that's super interesting. This opened in pre-market at about 1, and then by the time market opened at around 9:30, it was about 2, and then it almost touched 3 before falling back to 188. Okay, so crazy ranges here. Super small cap company, traded 113 million shares today, and there's only 21 million outstanding. So if you don't know how the supply and demand of shares works in the market, the shares outstanding is the supply and the volume would be the demand. Okay, so the volume is far exceeding the supply, the demand is far exceeding the supply, and hence this huge massive move to the upside. Okay, so that's what happened with VVOS. The next notable mover was GERN, and this started out really good and then it really fizzled out. Okay, so it did have great news. It was a nice catalyst, top line results from a phase 3 trial. Okay, so super positive news, and it opened about 50% higher and even ran at the open, but then it closed even below where it opened. Okay, so it was a red candle on the day, but it's definitely still broken out of this range that it was previously locked in before, maybe 2 to 3 here, and now it's 3 to 4, I would say. Okay, so maybe buy at 3, sell at 4, and that might work out. Okay, so once again, the shares traded was 121 million, but there's 405 million outstanding, so not as much of a short supply on GERN. And lastly, in the notable movers was Kala, K-A-L-A. This had 14 million shares traded, and it's only got 1.5 million shares outstanding. So this turned over even more times than VVOS, but it's also it had a reverse stock split recently, which is why it only has 1.5 million shares outstanding. Okay, so interesting company here, and they decided to do this reverse stock split, and now they have great news on this FDA application, and their stock's up big. It's up 750% in the last couple weeks. Okay, so insane moves, and we're looking for this to continue tomorrow. Maybe buy at 30, 35, sell at 50, 55. Okay, so huge ranges here, and that's it for the notable movers. Now let's get into the about to break out stocks. We got a high fly ball, and it's off the wall. Okay, so IMAB was the first company we saw here that didn't quite make the cut of the notable movers here, but it was up big on the day, 30.9%. It did have positive data, so check on the catalyst. It did have decent volume, 2.5 million shares traded, but there's a decent amount of supply, 82 million shares. Okay, so we're tracking this, we're watching it. It looks good, but we're cautious because we're tracking the low of yesterday, which was 420, which is pretty far off the price right now, 550. Okay, so maybe if you were looking for an entry here, you might wait for a test of these lows here at 420. All right, now WeWork, this is an interesting company here. It doesn't really have a great reputation, even though it's saying 2.2 here. I never really liked this model in the first place. There was a documentary about how it was like a failed model, WeWork. Maybe they're turning things around. I don't know, but I'm very skeptical of this move higher, 26.43%. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if this fell apart tomorrow and just got crushed, like 120 or 130 or something. So definitely watching this for a move to the downside tomorrow. It's up 66% on the week. Maybe if they had a crazy good catalyst, then there would be a reason for this move higher, but I don't see it. And, I'm not going to just buy in waiting for the catalyst. Last about to break out is Mara. This is a crypto company, or at least it moves with crypto a lot. Yeah, they mine cryptocurrencies and stuff. You see in the description there. And it's up 24% today. I didn't see the crypto markets go up at all, but maybe there's something brewing. And remember, these stocks are 6 to 9 month indicators. So even a bottom in crypto would be huge for Mara. And that's the last bout to break out. And now let's get into the scary stocks. Ay caramba. These are about to break down stocks. Vera got killed 64.7%. And I think it was even positive news. So I'm expecting a bounce tomorrow. It's definitely retesting these lows, 620, but maybe expect a bounce to 7. So that's pretty wide ranges here if you're going to trade something like this. But yeah, definitely probably one to avoid and wait till it all settles out, okay? And ENVX is the next scary stock, and this is the weekly chart. I'm going to zoom back over to the daily chart here, and this is breaking down to all-time lows, and I zoomed out to the weekly chart just to make sure it was all-time lows, okay? So it's all-time lows, yeah. And back to the daily charts, breaking down to fresh yearly lows. And so watch for a retest of these lows set today. It did close pretty far off the lows, though. So that's actually a positive sign for futures. So we're watching this, though. And electrical equipment and parts, you would think that would be a good sector to be in, but they really don't have a whole lot of sales, and they're more into lithium-ion batteries. Okay, so I don't know if they're just in research and development, why they don't have a lot of sales, but yeah, this company does not look like a great investment right now. PHAT, this is the last scary stock. This just looks bad. It was down 31% today, not much of a bounce, but it didn't close at the lows, so it's encouraging for future prices, but I am expecting a retest to this 750 level tomorrow. We'll see what happens. And that's it for the scary stocks. And that wraps up this stock recap show. If you're interested in working one-on-one with me and figuring out the markets and your trading style, you can book a call on FridayTraders.com. And myself or a member of my team will be happy to help you out on your trade journey. Okay, we have courses and alerts as well. If you're interested in that, definitely schedule a call. And I will see you in the next video, or I'll talk to you on the call.